What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. I just wanted to say real quick, if you enjoy the video, if you could give me a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. And feel free to make any comments you have about opinions or questions. Hope you guys enjoy. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about really the top 3 most important EDC items. Not necessarily that you should only carry these 3, but that maybe to recognize that they are the most important. These are going to be literally your lifesavers, your serious utility, and vision, obviously, that you're really going to need the most. Maybe not use the most. Hopefully you're not using a firearm the most, but it is certainly most important because without it, and you need it, you're most likely going to die. So that being said, we'll just jump right in. Firearm is going to be the first one that you absolutely are going to need, and it is going to be up there on the priority list. I feel like that's self-explanatory. Flashlight, like let's say you really could use a flashlight, and you don't have one. You're not going to die. Like, you're not literally going to die. If you need this firearm, and you don't have it, you quite literally very well may die. So I feel like that's just sort of self-explanatory why it's in the top 3. This is the Springfield XDS. I do really like this pistol. This is not my most carried pistol. I just decided to pull this one out as kind of the firearm demonstration for the video because it's got a nice two-tone gray and black, and I do like shooting it. But obviously you could substitute this model for whatever you prefer shooting. But if you're trying to think about what should you spend the most money on, what should you get first, what should you upgrade next, trying to rule a couple things out. What can you rule out? Firearm is definitely not one of them. If there's anything that you are going to go high dollar on, will be the firearm, because obviously it just under kind of the same thinking of, well, if I need it, I really need it. If you really need it, you really need it to go boom when you pull the trigger. So firearm is by far the #1 top priority as far as quality, what you should and shouldn't carry. You name it, firearm is #1. So on past that, really your #2 is going to be the multi-tool, because if you're thinking minimalist on just how many items you're carrying, how much you spent on EDC stuff, anything like that, like any other tools you're considering to carry, this is the Leatherman Wave, for example. This really could cover all the bases. It has pliers, screwdrivers, multiple blades, scissors. I believe this one has tweezers, bottle opener. It just really has everything that you're going to need on a regular day-to-day basis. And like I said, this has a blade on it, so this can be your pocket knife if it needed to be. Obviously, it has a blade. It works. Meaning, this can't serve quite as good as a full tang knife can do, especially in a self-defense situation. It really can't do that. But that's what you really have the firearm for, right? So really, this could be your multi-tool, it could be your pocket knife, and it could be your full tang knife. It really could do those things if you had to. So that's what makes the multi-tool really, really a good second. That's your absolute must-have. You want to get a nice one. You want it to work. You want your blades to be sharp. You don't want it to rust, and all that good stuff. That's why I pretty much only carry Leathermans. I'm interested in doing some Swiss Army knife reviews and kind of comparisons with the Leathermans and have some discussions about that. So if that interests you, definitely hit the subscribe button, because that's going to come up in the future, in the very near future, actually, probably next couple weeks. But yeah, the multi-tool is definitely going to be #2, just because it can serve so many purposes. And it really, if you're thinking minimal on dollars, on how many items you're carrying, whatever it may be, just what you're going to focus on, the multi-tool is going to be up there. And thirdly, what the third pick would be for me is going to be a flashlight. So since we can clarify that the multi-tool can cover the pocket knife and the full tang knife, what's left is like your flashlight, your lighter, maybe a hanky, chapstick, paracord bracelet. I don't know, you fill in the blank. But there's not really anything else that I view more important than a flashlight, because just think of how many things that you actually really need to be able to see in order to do, which is a lot of things, and it does get dark every day. So there pretty much is a guaranteed scenario that you are going to use the flashlight fairly often. And that's another thing as far as battery life, how bright it can get, its durability, all those things. You really don't want to go cheap on the flashlight either. And I'm obviously placing it number 3. If this was I could only pick 3 EDC items, firearm, multi-tool, flashlight is what I'm going to pick. This isn't really about if I could only pick 3. That's obviously not the title of the video. It's just what is logically really the most important, being for literal life-saving, not literal life-saving as in it could do all your tools, cut open boxes, screw, unscrew something, whatever, stuff like that, get a splinter out, whatever, and then just simply being able to see, because something came up, it's nighttime, you need to just see, so these are definitely the 3 most important. They're the 3 that you do want to spend the most money on. Obviously you don't want a stupid cheap lighter. You don't want a really cheap knife. I'm not saying go expensive on these 3 and then dirt cheap regardless of the quality on anything else you want to carry. But not everyone just says, well, I have no budget for EDC stuff. Everyone has some budget, just some are bigger than others. So, I mean, like even I had to do this a couple years ago when I really started getting into EDC. What I was going to get first, prioritize, spend the most money on, make sure was the best, was these 3 items, especially the multi-tool. When I got this, I recognized that this is one of my most important things because it's kind of an all-in-one. It just makes it super important. And then obviously firearm, I have more than just this one. This isn't even the number 1 that I carry the most, but it's really, really important. Hopefully I never have to use it. I haven't had to use one yet in a real scenario, and it may be another 30 years until I do, and that's perfect. But when that time comes, if that time comes, I really, really need it to work, obviously. So, and then just flashlight is just so handy and so nice to have. So yeah, that's kind of my top 3 that you could word it focus on, spend the most money on, prioritize towards, you name it. If one of you guys have a different 3, I'd be curious to hear and what your reason is. But if you like the video, if you can give me a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.